a creamy pinky color, but when they're resting, they tend to be more pale. They're not activating all of the color cells in their skin. They've got thousands and thousands of little color-changing cells called chromatophores. And it is those chromatophores that allow the octopus to be a master of camouflage, just like their close cousins, the squid and the cuttlefish. The fourth member of the cephalopod clan, or the headfoot clan, is the nautilus. So the octopus, cuttlefish, squid, and nautilus are all in the same order of animals together. Now their chromatophores are basically like little balloons, and depending on how much the muscle expands and contracts, each one of those little balloons determines the color that our octopus will become. For our local species, they have a color palette of red, purple, orange, pink, sometimes even brown. Their coloration is oftentimes a mimicry of the environment around them. If you go to other parts of the world, and there are about 300 different species of octopus distributed across our globe, they have different color palettes depending on the color of the surrounding environment in which they live. But one thing I find very fascinating, an octopus is not able to see color itself, even though they are masters of camouflage and can blend in with the world around them in a flash of a second. They don't see the color. What they're matching is the color pattern of their environment, because octopuses are colorblind. So pretty fascinating that their eyes are able to pick up such definitive shades of black, white, and gray. Now as they introduce that food, you can see Winnie took that first piece of pollock fillet right away. It appears that X-Ray over in the small cylinder has grabbed on to his feeding stick. Derek has strategically removed it, doing a little bit of soft twisting back and forth that makes it difficult for them to hold on to that pollock fillet. But these animals are very strong, and each one of their arms is lined with as many as 200 to 300 individual sucker discs. Each one of those sucker discs can move independently of all the rest, creating a vacuum seal by tensing the muscle around the edge of each one of those little suction cups. So once they grab a hold of something, if they really want it, chances are they'll be able to keep it. Now, when they're out searching for food on their own, say right here beneath the pier of the Seattle Aquarium, and we do have usually 2 or 3 live octopus dens literally beneath your feet that are occupied by this species. They'll leave their den at night. They use their sense of taste to find their way to some of their favorite feeding grounds. So that may give you an indication, even though they have a tongue, their tongue is not like ours at all. Their tongue is a scraping sandpaper tongue called a radula, which is exactly what their close cousins, the snails, chitons, and limpets, have in their mouth. What the octopus is tasting with are all of those sucker discs. That is where their taste receptors are located, and each individual sucker disc has thousands of chemical sensory organs. So as they move along, everything they touch, they are tasting as well. Which is a part of the reason why, if you watch very closely, Brian and Derek have a method of being able to gently brush that food right along the side of the octopus's arm, giving Winnie and X-Ray an opportunity to sense the presence of the food, although they can also see it. As they grab a hold of that food, into the very center where all 8 arms come together is where that food will go. That's where their mouth is located again. And inside of their mouth is one of the only hard parts in their body. They have a beak that looks just like the beak of a parrot. And if you make an OK symbol, for Winnie at about 45 pounds, her beak is about the size of a $50. Now imagine her crawling through a space the size of your OK symbol. If her beak can fit, she can fit. She can squeeze and squish and smush her entire body to fit through that space. For X-Ray, at 11 pounds, he could probably fit through a hole the size of a quarter. So these animals, not having any bones, can really be the Houdinis of the sea, getting into all kinds of small spaces. The only other hard part of their bodies are the lenses of their eyes. Their eyes are made of silica, so they have little glass marbles for eyeballs. But their eyes and their beak are truly the only hard parts in their body, although, not to be confused, they don't have any bones, but they're very strong. And underneath that velvety skin of theirs, and they have a lot of it, they're like a Shar-Pei dog, they have a lot of very, very strong muscle tissue that allows them to hold on to their favorite foods like a Dungeness crab as they come over like a big umbrella, grabbing a hold of that Dungeness crab, definitely one of their favorite menu items, bringing that back to their den where they usually consume their meal, and then pushing those empty crab shells out onto their doorstep when they are finished. So a good way to find an octopus if you are a scuba diver here in Puget Sound is to just look for a big pile of crab and clam shells outside of a rocky reef hole. And if you see that, you have found the home of a giant Pacific octopus. I encourage you all to come right on up to the window and really take a closer look. Observe as they breathe, watch their skin and the texture of their skin and the change of their coloration. And observe that, know that when you're looking at them, they are looking right back at you. So thank you very much for joining us for our giant Pacific octopus feeding today. I want to thank Brian and Derek, our fabulous volunteers, and I want to thank all of you for joining us here at the Seattle Aquarium. Enjoy the rest of your visit and have a great day. Oh, and if you've got questions, of course, or want to come and see an example of an octopus beak, or even some eggs that were laid right here at the Seattle Aquarium, come on over and say hello to me. Again, my name is Nicole, and enjoy your visit, everybody.
That one?
Cuidado que le están sacando fotos y cosas.
Are those still its eyes?
Where's the eyes? Yes.
Those two are eyes.
Oh, the one up there, I don't think that's the eyes. Ew. Can you back up?
Oh.
It's over there. He's over here. He's over here. Come on, man.